Hey y'all, it's Maurice here with another video. In this video, I just wanted to briefly talk about something that I'm finding personally in my life to be super important. And that thing is to not allow people to take you out of alignment. I think too often we go through these. Number one, life is cyclical. So anything that you're going through today, 9 times out of 10, you've been through it in a different form or not. And I think that as humans, we have this thing where we forget that we've been through things and that we've overcome things. And then when we get back around to something else, that thing that has us razzled and, out of control, it pushes us out of alignment, out of our true intention, out of our true posture. And I think that it is so important. Now, when I say this, I'm saying it to myself as well. So you got to understand that, I think that it's so important for us to remember who we are, to remember where we are going, and to remember that anything that we've gone through today, we've been through before. There's been things going on in my life recently that really has just jolted me, but also has perplexed the inner me. Like the inner me has looked back do you not remember how bad things was at one point? Do you not remember what you've been brought out of? And I've had to have these conversations with myself about Maurice, listen, get it together, and with my best friends about what is happening? Why have we all of a sudden created this storyline that we've never been through anything like this before, that we've never come out? And the reality is that you've been through this before. Maybe not in this form, but you've been through this before and you've come out every single time. And if you come out every single time, then why do we allow ourselves to be pushed out of alignment? Why do we allow the pressures of the world to make us forget that the Almighty, the creator of all things, has brought you through? Every time He's brought you through. Every single time you have made it out. It's actually perplexing. It really is. It's mind-blowing to me to think about the kind of life that I live now versus the life that I lived years ago. And what I was going through years ago, I'm not even going through close to that. But somehow I've allowed myself to forget and to be pushed out of alignment. And so my encouragement here to you today is to remember that life is cyclical, that it has happened before, and it will happen again. That you will have up days and you will have down days, and you will have down days and then you will have up days, and then it will happen all again. But remember that you are life-centered, that the universe works on your behalf, that the universe supplies what you need when you need it exactly. You know what I mean? As they used to say in church, it might not be when you want it. You know what I mean? It might, God might not come when you want him, but he'll be right on time. The universe is right on time. The universe shows up for you right on time. It's done that your entire life. So why now would it abandon you? Why now would it neglect you? Why now would it say, nah, I'm going to just leave Maurice out here in the wild to figure it out on his own? It's not a reality. It's not a reality. And I think that reality, what is true, what the reality is that we've got to start speaking this kind of conversations to ourselves. We got to start having these conversations with ourselves. And in my mind, it's with my own mind, because my heart knows, my whole being knows that I'm going to come through. My whole being knows that this is cyclical, that this is just a situation, that I'm just going through something in this space of time. But my mind is on overdrive. It's trying to solve it. It's trying to find a solution. It's thinking about what's going to happen. It's really in planning mode. To the point where, there were times recently where I was getting up at 4, 5 a.m., just anxious, and I've just had to recalibrate. I've had to recenter myself. I've had to remind myself that God does all things in perfect order, that there is nothing too hard for God, that God has shown up for me more times than I can even account, more times than I can. There is no way at this juncture in my life am I going to be let to just sit by the wayside, And I don't know if you are going through something, or maybe you're not going through something right now, but maybe something is on the horizon. And so I just want to encourage you to stay in alignment, to remember that what you are going through now does not dictate who you are. It does not dictate where you will end. It is just a small blink in time. It is something that you have to go through to get to. You've been through worse things. And if you look on the history of your life, you've been through those worst things. You've succeeded. You've overcome those worst things. You know, the encouragement here is to remember that you are in tune with the natural being of life, that the higher power, or whatever you call your higher power, godliness, God, the universe, whatever you call it, is in line and step with your life. Your steps are ordered. You know, the message I got recently is that God has gone before you. He's gone before you to prepare it, to prepare that situation, to work it out, you know? So our job, your job, my job, is to have trust, is to have faith, you know, is to walk even when we don't see the path laid out. You know, I did a video where I told you, maybe like 2 or 3 videos back, where I said, we've been that way, you know, so we don't need to go back that way. We know forward is the way that we should be going, and that we've got to take one foot in front of the other and walk into our destiny, into our purpose, you know, no matter what the feelings are. Because feelings, people don't talk about that a lot, but feelings will have you in trouble. Emotions will have you in trouble. You got to get in line and step with what is true. Get to the truth. In every situation, get to the truth. Because I think sometimes our feelings and our emotions are there to protect us, to keep us protected. But you got to ask yourself, what is true in this situation? What do I know to be true here? You know, and for me, what I've been going through, the situation was, what do I know to be true? And the truth is that he's never not made a way. A way has never not been made in my life. A way has never not been made, you know, even when I've stressed about it, and you actually look crazy in the end, right? You look crazy in the end because you deep down, you knew that the way would be made, you know? And so that's my encouragement, you know, hunker down, go through the storm, weather the storm, you know, because you can't change the storm, but you can change how you walk through it. You can change the attitude that you have in going through, you know, because tests are a way of life. We all have to endure them, you know, but how we endure them, you know, how we stay committed, how we stay in alignment really will dictate, you know, how we feel on the other end of that, because there is another end, you know, and the question for you is, how do you want to come out of that? How do you want to feel when you come out of that? Do you want to feel like you didn't trust the universe, that you didn't trust that God would make a way? Or do you want to feel like I'll hunker down knowing that a way would be made? I, for one, am going with the latter. I'm deciding to believe that the path is made, that the way is made, that there is a table on the other end waiting for me, and that all I have to do is remain focused, remain in alignment, and remain trusting, and that everything else in life will work out. Hopefully this was, you know, helpful to someone. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. As always, I appreciate you for watching and for listening.